Hey guys, Andrew here with Nashville Severe Weather. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for western Williamson County that was just issued a few moments ago, and this includes mostly people back to the west of us, back in Hickman County, down into Lewis County and Murray County, but it kind of clips the western side of Williamson County. Fairview is included in that, and you can kind of see the polygon here. We got a couple of different polygons out here, but this south one is the only one that affects us right now, and this comes down, includes Fairview, and then goes down toward around Boston, includes Smarden and the Pinewood Road exit of 840 there, and then on down into Murray County. So for right now, just the western side of Williamson County covered under the severe thunderstorm warning, but that could change over time as these storms come in. They're coming in at a pretty good clip here at about 40-50 miles an hour as they push to the east. So right now the biggest threat is going to be some strong damaging straight line winds, and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible, the Weather Service notes in there. So we switched over to velocity view here. We're looking back to the west, and we can see where the brighter blues are, especially down here around Centerville. These are places where the winds could get pretty strong. So, and that's where 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are being indicated right now, at least up in the atmosphere at about 4,000 feet. So, if you're just joining us, severe thunderstorm warning now for the western side of Williamson County, and that is in effect until, that's going to be in effect until 12:15. And by that time, the storm should have marched east, or at least gotten into Williamson County and approaching I-65. We'll see if they reissue any new warnings there. Okay, so let's go back over to reflectivity and kind of show where the storms are. We have just a little bit of time, but let me tell you, if you're included in the severe thunderstorm warning here in the west side of Williamson County, including Fairview, I'd go ahead and get inside. Be inside a good sturdy structure. No indication right now of tornadoes, but those are certainly possible, and we may not have a lot of time to prepare for those because they could be pretty quick spin-up tornadoes, and it's hard to give a whole lot of lead time on those when they spin up real fast. So right now, just a severe thunderstorm warning, but you might want to go ahead and get inside. Make sure you're in a pretty good, strong building, that kind of thing, just in case one of these things spins up real fast. But right now, looking at just strong straight line winds of about 60 miles an hour, could be gusty up to that point. So again, these are remnants of Laura. Been talking about this for a couple of days. This is a line of storms that extends from all the way up to Clarksville, down all the way down to the Alabama state line and beyond. So this is a pretty solid line of storms. Everybody's going to get that as it comes through. But right now they are in Centerville. Hey, hang on one sec. Let me close a door and I'll be right back. 1 second. All right, back with you here. So the ETAs we were looking at just a little bit ago are still valid. I think I can still pull those up. Now, let me pull these, let me redo the line here and give you a new ETA of when this thing might be coming in. And let's go and pull this up at about 40 to 50 miles an hour to the northeast. And let's do 45 and cut the middle there between the two warnings. And look to be in downtown Nashville about 12:35. Same for Oak Hill and down to Brentwood. So it looks like it's going to be around I-65 about 12:30. Fairview looking at about 12. Sorry about the losing y'all there. There we go. So that's what we're looking at as far as ETAs. All right, let's switch over to back over to our regular radar here. And let me get that going. There we go, and we can kind of see where this is. So looking at about 12:30 to I-65, and we could see some strong winds with this. All right, if you're just joining us, I tell you what, let me look at some comments here, see if there's any questions that I can answer. They are moving pretty quick. Yeah, we could expect some extra or some additional rounds of storms today. That's definitely a possibility. But they are moving pretty fast. This warning is showing, let's see, the one up north of us that includes Cheatham County says they're moving at 40, and then the one down here to the south that affects us, they're moving northeast at 50. So they are picking up some steam as they push east. All right, storms currently around Centerville. Let's go look at velocities here and see where the strongest winds are. The bright blues here And the bright blues are where the, 55 miles an hour is where the strongest winds are, just south of town, pushing off to the northeast. So not everyone will get the strong gusty winds. There's little places in here where the wind's not too strong, at least according to radar. And then there's other places where they get really, really gusty. So that's probably what we should expect as time goes on. Let's switch over to Tbna Radar. Tbna is a radar over there in Nolensville, has a pretty good read on velocities. It's showing a similar situation here south of Centerville. It's showing that's where the strongest gusty winds are, and there's a brand new scan. Unfortunately, these scans are coming out every 5 or 6 minutes now. It's typically a little faster, but it's running a little slow today. So down there just south of Centerville, we're looking at about 55 miles an hour, and that's only about 2,700 feet. So definitely a possibility that south of Centerville there could be seeing some really strong gusty winds. That's all pushing our direction if you live in southwestern Williamson County. Let's see here. Let me back out a little bit, go back to our other radar. All right, here's what we're looking at. This is if you're just joining us, let's go back over and talk about this warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for western Williamson County. This is in effect until 12:15. So about another, about 25 minutes on this warning, and we'll see how it does as it moves into Williamson County, whether it's still showing some strong winds or not. All right, let's see here. So if you live, let's talk about what to expect around Franklin or around I-65. These storms are moving at about 50 miles an hour. So as they push off to the northeast, they are going to come into Williamson County where the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. And then as we get closer to I-65, we'll see if they extend that warning out further to include Franklin and I-65 and Brentwood and Nashville. We'll see if they do, and if they do, that will happen likely around 12:15. So that's when this warning expires in the western part of Williamson County. And once that expires, or if it get as the storms get closer to the end of that, they'll make the decision whether to extend it or not over to include Franklin, Nolensville, Brentwood, Nashville, and etc. So we'll see if that happens. Right now, let me just tell you that if you are in Fairview, you could be seeing some gusty winds here after a while. Let me switch back over to Tbna, and again, this picture is about 3 minutes old, and there is a pretty good pocket of gusty winds there, about 57, 58 miles an hour. And they're right in Centerville, maybe just to the south along Highway 50. It goes into through Duck River and into Columbia. So could be some pretty strong gusty winds there. Those have a good possibility of moving in to the southwestern part of Williamson around the Pinewood Road exit over toward Greenbrier, Garrison Springs, Smarden, those communities over there. So these will be the first places to see the strong winds. And then if they continue off to the east, Leapers Fork and into Franklin. All right, let me check your questions here. Mike, is the storm weakening? I'm not seeing any weakening with it. No, it's just sort of maintaining where it is. Where is a tornado most likely to hit? We have no indication of tornadoes right now, so I can't tell you where it's most likely to hit. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to our other radar here. Kind of put this in motion. Let me back it up a few frames. And let me go forward here, and you can kind of see how these are moving. So the individual storms are moving northeast, but the line itself is pushing east. But the individual cells are kind of pushing off to the northeast. Let me turn off a couple of those yellow lines there. They're kind of cluttering stuff up. There we go. Okay. Looks like the severe thunderstorm warning up around Cheatham County, Dixon County. It looks like that expired. So the Weather Service has expired that warning. And so the only one left is the one that includes us, the western side of Williamson County. Will there be a long gap? Yeah, it looks like, back to the west of this initial line, looks like there's some showers, but not seeing any storms on radar right now back to the west of this line. Are they going to stay severe? No way of really knowing. They'll kind of pulse up and down is my guess. East Nashville, you probably have about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. Is it like the derecho? The derecho is a strong wind that covers a huge area. Not expecting that with this. Probably, if there's any damaging winds, then this will be fairly localized. A derecho, we're talking like hundreds of miles and extremely widespread wind damage. So this is not a derecho. Far from it, really. But you individually may get some strong 60-mile-an-hour gusty winds. But 2 miles down the road, they may not. Looks like we have a tornado warning coming out for Williamson County. Okay, so let's figure out what that's about. And give me just a second and switch over to GR3. And this is going to show where that tornado warning is. All right, so tornado warning now in effect for western Williamson County. This is going to be in effect for areas like Fairview and on down to the southwest. And it's for this area of strong wind that just came out of Centerville that we were just talking about. And it's going to be really aiming at the southwestern areas of Williamson County. So tornado warning in effect, and that's going to be for areas around Craigfield, Pinewood Road exit, Greenbrier, Garrison Springs, Smarden, the Highway 100 exit going up into Fairview is where this tornado warning is in effect for. The warning is in effect until 12:15. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Centerville, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour, and the threat is a tornado. So this is escalated now. So we're looking at a tornado warning here for northeastern Hickman County and for southwestern Williamson County. So those of you in Williamson County, you may be hearing your warnings go off and that kind of thing. This is only for areas in western Williamson County. So you can see where the red polygon here is, and that includes Fairview, especially down to the southwest. It includes Highway 840 over there in the western sections of Williamson County, and then on down to the southwest. So basically the folks that were included in the severe thunderstorm warning just a minute ago, you are now included in a tornado warning. All right, so you need to get into shelter. If you live in Fairview, you need to get in down to the lowest level of your home or business. You need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You need to put on shoes. You need to put on a helmet if you have that available in your home. And you need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, so don't be out driving. If you're on 840 or you know somebody on 840, they need to get off of 840. And you need to get out of mobile homes and do not get under bridges. Okay, so you need to get you need to totally get off the road. You need to get in a sturdy building. If you live around Fairview or down there in the western part of Williamson County. Let's go back to radar here, and let's take a look at where this is. So we're looking at velocities here, and we're looking at right there. That's where we're looking at the possibility of rotation. So this is now over there in Hickman County on approaching Little Lot Road, and you see your winds going toward the radar, winds going away from the radar, and that's your area of rotation right there. This is down just southwest of Williamson County down in Hickman, but it's aimed at Williamson County, all right? So areas around Shoals Branch Road. This is out in the hills and hollows of southwestern Williamson County, but if you live in Greenbrier, if you live on Shoals Branch Road in Williamson County, Oscar Green Road, Shoals Branch is down there still, Green Chapel, Walker Hill Road. If you live near the Pinewood Road exit of Highway 840 or Interstate 840, Garrison Springs, you folks all need to be in your tornado safe place, which includes being on the lowest level of your lowest level of your home or business. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This warning is in effect until 12:15. All right, let's go over. I'm going to check out another radar here, and this is the National Weather Service's radar, and we're going to zoom in here and see exactly where this rotation is. And the area blue here is where the rotation is being picked up by radar, and I'm going to turn off that additional yellow line there. So this is where the rotation is and the potential tornado. Not seeing any debris on radar yet, but the rotation is definitely there. So it's crossing Little Lot Road there in Hickman County, pushing up into Williamson County. All right, checking another radar here. Let me go back to the radar out of Nolensville. So this is your wind going toward the radar right here. This is wind going away, and so this right here is a pretty pronounced area of rotation within the storm. Okay, so this is pushing off to the northeast. If you're just joining us, we have a tornado warning in effect, and let's see what the Weather Service is saying here. The Hickman County storm showing weak rotation and signs of developing a broken S signature. And so they are issuing a tornado warning because of that. So, all right. So this is where this is what we're looking at. This is what they're talking about. So here's your velocities, and it's approaching Williamson County. So let me name off some of these roads again. We got West Lick Creek Road. We've got Lampley Road. We've got Shoals Branch Road, Interstate 840, Barn Hill Road, Bradford Road. If you live on any of those roads, or if you live near any of those roads in southwestern Williamson County, you need to be in your safe place. All right, let's talk about what to do real quick. So this means that you need to be on the lowest level of your home, interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and you need to put on shoes and a helmet. All right, so you need to not be in your car. If you know anybody on 840, you need to call them, tell them to get off the road, and they need to be you need to not be in a mobile home and not under a bridge. All right, good. Sounds like you're hearing sirens in Williamson County. That's good. So glad the county's sounding those, getting the word out about that. So again, if you're just joining us because you hear the sirens going off, you did exactly what you're supposed to do, get more information. And so it looks like a tornado warning in effect here for the western side of Williamson County, and that's going to be... in fact, let's go over here and look at this radar. This is the National Weather Service's radar, and looks like here that the storm is still in northeastern Hickman County. But if you're just joining us and kind of figuring out where all this is, the warning is in effect for basically areas around Fairview and Boston, Leapers Fork, back to the southwest. All right, but you folks in Franklin and Cool Springs and Brentwood and on up into Davidson County, up in Forest Hills, Bellevue, Creve Hall, you guys need to watch out because this thing's kind of aimed at you, okay? So you're not included in the warning yet, but you need to keep an eye out on it, all right? So tornado warning is in effect until 12:15. I'm going to go over and look at a couple of products here and see. Not seeing any debris being lofted high enough for the radar to see it. That's good. Still seeing a little bit of rotation here. This is going to be right around, if those of you in southwestern Williamson County might be familiar a little bit with northeastern Hickman. So right around Cavender Road. Cavender Road is where the rotation is right now. And it's crossing Cavender Road now. And we'll be crossing, let's see, this is going to be Tatum Creek Road. So really Fairview, it's really aimed more at Fairview now, as far as the direction of travel of the storm. So it looks like it'll cross right over the Highway 100 exit of I-840, and then and we'll be moving up into Fairview shortly. So you're checking a couple things. Checking with the Weather Service here. Nothing new other than them telling us why they issued the warning, so that's good to know. Let's take a look at debris again. Not seeing any additional any debris being lofted high enough for the radar to see it. But here's that area of rotation. You see the blue. Let me include some of Williamson County here. This is where the strongest rotation is being indicated. It looks like they are continuing the tornado warning now. They've just sort of redrawn the box a little bit, so we'll see if it changes at all. But they're updating the polygon just a little bit, so that should pop up here on radar in just a minute. All right. Let's take a look at let's go back to where we were. This area of blue here is where the strongest rotation is being indicated. So it's still in northeastern Hickman County. But if you're in southwestern or western Williamson County, really around 840 all the way up to Fairview, you need to be in the lowest level of your home. Take a look at those guidelines there on the graphic. The lowest level of your home, if you have a helmet, put it on, that's great. But be in the lowest level, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, okay? And that's good. There's the updated polygon, and doesn't change a whole lot there in Williamson County. They've just sort of redrawn it just a little bit. Let's take a look at the latest radar image. Some wind punching around the backside of the storm, so that's crossing Tatum Creek Road now, and so that could create just an area of rotation there. That's why this tornado warning was issued. And so that's, you see these bright blues, they're kind of pushing around to the east here, and you get this rotation effect, and that's what they're concerned about. So this will be moving into Williamson County here in the next 10 minutes or so, and right around the Craigfield area, the Highway 100 exit, it looks like that's the highest risk area for this area of rotation around Interstate 840, which is right here, kind of a dull line here, but that's where that is. So here's the Highway 100 exit. There's Chester Estates over there in Fairview, Cox Run and Fairview right there. So that's kind of where this thing is headed. Pinewood Road, you're included in this. So you really don't need to be on 840 anywhere from I-40 all the way down to Garrison Springs and the Pinewood Road exit. Need to be off at 840. All right, so those of you from Brentwood, your sirens are going off, so you're probably joining us figuring out what's going on. The city of Brentwood is not included in this warning right now. They're probably just doing that as a precautionary thing, but city of Brentwood is not included in the warning right now. This only includes the western side of Williamson County, but I'm glad you got a heads up, and glad you're here checking out what's going on. So an area of rotation there in the northeastern part of Hickman County, and they're northeast of Centerville, and that's pushing up toward Fairview generally, maybe just south of Fairview, but it's basically pushing toward Fairview. And we'll see if we get any reports of touchdowns. All right, let me say this. You need to be in your safe place if you are inside that red polygon. So you should know whether you are inside or outside of that polygon. So if you live in Fairview, you're pretty much inside it. Almost everybody in Fairview is inside it. If you're down to the south around Garrison Springs, Pinewood Road, Smarden's just outside of it, Greenbrier, Craigfield, you guys are inside. Liberty Hill, Blakemont Estates, you guys are inside the polygon. And so if you're inside that polygon, you need to be on the lowest level of your home with as many interior or as many walls between you and the outside as possible. They're in an interior room. So if you are outside of the polygon, that means you're not included in the tornado warning. So Franklin is not under a tornado warning. Thompson Station, Spring Hill, Nolensville, Brentwood, Nashville, you are not under a tornado warning. This is only for areas back to the west and the western side of Williamson County. New severe thunderstorm warning coming out, and that'll be redrawn. That'll be drawn on the map here in just a second, but that's going to be for Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Murray, and Williamson's. They're going to do, there's that new warning there. And so they may, not sure, but they may replace this tornado warning with the severe thunderstorm warning. We'll just have to see. But this warning is in effect for another few minutes, this tornado warning. I think it expires at 12:15. All right, another tornado warning coming out now for, that's going to be for Cheatham, Dixon, Hickman, and Williamson. So a new tornado warning now coming out. So we're going to stick with this. Looks like they are going to extend the tornado warning out and draw a new polygon here for us. And so let's see where that is going to be. In fact, I'm going to switch over to a different radar. This is going to be for yeah, this is going to show the new warning. It also shows pretty well this area of rotation. So area of rotation fairly strong here around, right there around, what is this? This is County Highway 1841. So if you know where that is down there in northeastern Hickman County, that's where this is, area of rotation. That's pushing off to the northeast. Fairview, you're pretty well red line. You're pretty much center line there in the tornado warning now. So all of Fairview now included. Davidson County is not included in this tornado warning. Let me back out a little bit. And you are not included in this tornado warning. Only the western part of Williamson County. Natchez Trace Bridge is included, and all of Fairview. So if you are inside that red polygon, you need to get on the lowest level of your home. You need to be in an interior room and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And you need to put on shoes and a helmet. And those of you up in Metro need to kind of keep an eye on this because it's kind of aimed at you, but you are not included in a tornado warning right now. All right, this tornado warning is in effect until 12:45, so another 30 minutes on this warning. And looking at some questions here, tornado warning in Bellevue. No, you are not included in a tornado warning in Bellevue yet. So you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, but you're not in a tornado warning yet in anywhere in Davidson County. But that could change, so stay tuned. All right, let's go look at velocities here on the, this is the Weather Service radar. And a fairly tight area of velocities here, at least a pronounced area of wind punching around the backside of the storm, and that's going to be around Old Locust Creek Road. So Craigfield, right around the Highway 100 exit of 840 as you go up to Fairview, that's right around where this is going to cross 840. So it's going to be pretty close. And here's a new scan now. And zooming right on down into Highway 100. Right here is the 840 exit for Highway 100. Okay, so that's, if you go right, you go up toward Fairview. If you go left, you go into Hickman County. That's exactly where this is going to cross if it doesn't change direction, this potential tornado. All right. No, we do not have two tornadoes. This is the same storm, same warning. All right, so this is going up into Fairview. If it is on the ground, it's sort of headed. It will cross 840, heading into Fairview. Hey, if you have any reports. Tweet those and use the hashtag #TSpotter. So if you see any damage of any sort, let us know on there, and that's how we will get your message right to the Weather Service. So that's the best way to get in touch with us with reports. However, do not go outside and try to see this. Don't try to take pictures of it. Don't stand on the front porch and all that kind of stuff. If you are inside of this warning, you need to go to shelter first. And then if you notice any damage or if you have any reports to send us, please do that, and we'll get that to the Weather Service. All right, so if you're just coming in here, tornado warning in effect for western Williamson County. That's going to be in effect until 12:45, so about another 25 to 30 minutes there. And a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 8 miles southwest of Fairview or 12 miles southeast of Dixon. We know where it is. We're looking at it right here. It's about to enter Williamson County. It's moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Radar indicated rotation. So they're looking at this area right here of wind coming around the backside of it and punching out here and creating some rotation that's now crossing New Cutoff Road and approaching Highway 840 or Interstate 840 right around the Highway 100 exit. May go just north or just west of that exit, and then pushing up into Fairview. Okay, so that's where this is right now. Let me zoom out just a tad. Let me show you who is and is not included. Getting a lot of questions about that. So Nashville, Davidson County, you are not included yet. You are not included in this tornado warning. However, stay tuned because it's west of you and sort of aimed at you. Okay, but you're not included in a tornado warning yet. This is for western Williamson County, Franklin, Spring Hill, Bethesda, Page High School, Williamson County Fairgrounds, Nolensville, Brentwood. You guys are not included either. This is moving off to the northeast, and this only includes Fairview and areas around Fairview inside the red polygon right now. Okay, let's take a look at velocities again, and let's see where this is headed. So here's our area of rotation here, and let's back it up a little bit, and it's pushing off to the northeast, generally toward Fairview. All right, some of you asking about guidelines where you should go. You need to be on the lowest level of your home if you're inside the red polygon. If you're inside the red polygon, you need to be on the lowest level of your home or business. Put as many put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So an interior room, a closet, bathroom, something like that is the best place to go if you are in your home or business. You don't need to be in a car. If you're in a mobile home, you don't need to be in there. Mobile homes are not good for tornadoes. Okay, so you need to not be in a mobile home. You should have a plan. If you're in a mobile home, you should have a plan on what to do if a tornado warning is issued, and especially on a day like today where it's possible. So you need to make that plan happen, and you need to get in a sturdy structure. So the tornado is the strongest wind here is crossing into Williamson County now, just crossed Old Cox Pike. It's crossing Old Franklin Road. They're in far western Williamson County, Sugar Camp Hollow, Crow Cut Road northwest, and we'll eventually be crossing Dice Lampley Road here in just a few minutes and coming into Fairview. So here's our area of strongest rotation here. On your velocity signatures, we're seeing 63, 64 miles an hour. They're at about 2,500 feet. And that's rotating around the south side of the area of rotation there. And then you kind of got your counterclockwise circulation indicated on radar right here. So this is just a shave north of the Highway 100 exit on 840. So it just crossed 840 there, and it's pushing up into Fairview here in the next 5 minutes or so. Is it tracking toward downtown Nashville? Generally, but Davidson County is not included in the warning yet. It's a little bit upstream from you. A little early for that yet, but stay tuned if you are in Davidson County. Is it a confirmed tornado? It is radar indicated. It is radar indicated because of these signatures here. This is exactly, let's see here. Okay. Weather Service is continuing the tornado warning. Check with the Weather Service on their notes here. They're continuing the warning till 1245, and your area of rotation here is very clear. It's just right around Liberty Hill, and it's crossing Crow Cut Road and pushing toward Fairview. So Westwood Elementary, you guys need to be in your safe place, need to enact your emergency plan. If you're in any of the schools in Fairview, you need to be enacting your plan right now. So you're running out of time, and I'm not seeing any debris being indicated on radar. That's a good sign. That we're not seeing debris being indicated on radar, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't be on the ground. Okay, so it's just a few of the tools we check. Okay, so strongest area of rotation now, we're looking at about 58 miles an hour on the south side of this, and it's sort of rotating counterclockwise right here, moving off to the northeast toward Fairview. So if you are along Highway 96 that goes up to I-40. If you are along Highway 96 going up to I-40 out of Fairview, you got to be in your safe place. Okay, lowest level, interior room, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Interior room, closet, bathroom. That is where you need to be if you are anywhere in Fairview, especially if you're along Highway 96 that goes up to I-40 from Fairview. So from like Westwood Elementary up to Blakemont Estates, if you're along Horn Tavern Road, that's a road that kind of comes off of 96 there and connects over to Highway 100. That's where this is going to cross. So it's going to cross Highway 96. It looks like just barely west of the main downtown area there of Fairview, kind of where the Walmart and all that is. So, all right, so it's going to cross Highway 96 here shortly. It's right around Dice Lampley Road now. Let me check a couple of other things here. Signature isn't quite as clear over on Tbna, so that's a good sign. We're going to check and see if that, excuse me, if that holds together. It was very clear there just a minute ago. As we go through in time, it's relaxed just a tad, but not a whole lot, all right? So it's still indicating also that it's going to cross Highway 96, and there's a new scan of Tbna. This is where it would be, right around Dice Lampley Road and Cox Pike, about to cross over Highway 96 and Horn Tavern Road here in just a few minutes. All right, let's go back over to our Weather Service radar. They're running updates pretty often here. Let's see. Okay, so right here is our strongest area of rotation. So that's going to be around Dice Lampley Road. It's going to be crossing Northwest Highway there. That's what that's labeled as, coming off of Cox Run and crossing Highway 96. All right, this tornado warning is in effect until this is in effect until 12:45. So about another 20 minutes or so on this warning. And then we'll see if it is extended up in the metro. You folks up in metro, especially in Bellevue, Bellmead, up toward Bells Bend, you guys kind of be watching this, okay? You're not included yet in a tornado warning, but kind of keep an eye on this, okay? Because it's not out of the question that metro will need to go under a tornado warning here in a little bit. We'll just have to see, okay? But stay tuned. Don't unplug. We're just gonna have to watch and see how this pans out. All right, so area of rotation now crossing Highway 96. So you're crossing Highway 96 here, also crossing Horn Tavern Road. Let me kind of turn the radar off just for a second, and you can kind of see a lot of homes here, a lot of subdivisions and businesses there along Highway 96. So I'll turn the radar off just so you can kind of see where this is. Here's Westwood Elementary right here in Fairview, sort of crossing up here just to the west, a little bit toward I-40 from Westwood Elementary there in Fairview. All right, so turn the radar back on. Here's the strongest area of wind, looking at about 57, 58 miles an hour up here, and some weaker velocity indications there, and so that would be where the area of potential rotation would be there on the west side of Fairview as you go up toward I-40. So here's I-40. This blue line is I-40, and you got Highway 96 where there's just a small sliver of I-40 there in Williamson County, and it's just south of that is where this area of rotation is. So again, if you're on the north side of Fairview especially, you need to be in your safe place. Let's talk about Metro just for a second. Let me zoom out. A lot of people wondering about Metro and Nashville here. So if you live in Bellevue, Pasco, Riverwalk, Bells Bend, over toward Bellmead, Forest Hills, maybe all the way up to Beeman Park and Fontanelle and Vanderbilt. But anyway, mostly the southwestern corner of Davidson County. You're going to have to watch this and see if this stays intact. And if it does, they may have to extend the warning up into Davidson County. So you're not there yet, but just don't unplug from this, because if they do extend that, you'll have to get in your safe place pretty quickly there on the southwestern sides of Davidson County. So we'll be watching for that. It's getting a little bit less pronounced now, the indication of high velocities. So that's good. It's not coupled with outbound winds quite as much, but still some strong winds being indicated there crossing CCC Road that goes off to the north off of Horn Tavern and goes up into Cheatham County. So that's where the area of rotation now is, excuse me, and that's pushing off toward Brush Creek, and we'll cross Brush Creek Road here in just a little bit. So, all right, let's back out. Look at this polygon. It's kind of wompy looking, but that's because they kind of cut Davidson County out of it for now. So, if you're inside the red box and you're on the east side of Highway 96, or the northeast side of Highway 96 there in Fairview, that's where you especially need to be in your shelter down toward Interstate 840. That is behind this line now and behind the area of rotation. So the most concentrated area now is going to be north of the sort of Highway 96 and Highway 100 line. there in Fairview. So if you sort of have three areas in Fairview, you have this area here, you have the area west of Highway 96, and the area south of Highway 100. This is kind of the third that we're looking at. It's the one north of Highway 96 and north of Highway 100, okay? That's where the strongest area of rotation is. And it could clip Cheatham County as well up there in just a second. But we're going to see what they do with this warning. It expires in 15 minutes. They probably will do something with it here before that point, because it's getting on to the things got. Let's see, it's getting up to the end of that, kind of the edge of that warning here pretty quickly. Let me go over to Tbna. This is a radar out of Nolensville. Let's take a look at that, just see how things are going there. Not really seeing indications of especially strong winds there right now. Let's hope that holds. But it's also starting to go a little bit perpendicular to that radar beam, which would make it harder to read. Okay, so it's a lot of technical stuff, but basically there could be some stronger winds in there, and it's getting to be a little bit harder to read that on this radar down there in Nolensville. Really, the Weather Service radar over here is going to be the best bet for seeing those strong winds. Weather Service is saying that they will not be extending the tornado warning into Davidson County as of right now. So the circulation has weakened. We've seen that on radar. The circulation has weakened, and they are not planning on issuing a tornado warning currently for Davidson County. If that changes, obviously we'll let you know. But for right now, that circulation has weakened, and they do not plan on extending the tornado warning into Davidson County. All right, so that's good to know. That's really good to know. So right now, we're just dealing with this area that we were talking about a little bit ago, just north of Fairview around Brush Creek. That's kind of the last remaining area that we're concerned about with any rotation. It looks like they're canceling the warning now, so this is going to just completely disappear, and we don't have to worry about that tornado warning anymore. So that'll disappear. They're canceling it, and the circulation has weakened. All right, so let's talk about what's left. So the tornado warning is gone. It'll disappear here in just a second off the map. There it goes. We're left with a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect now for both counties, Davidson and Williamson. It includes Fairview. It includes Riverwalk, Pasco, all the way up to Bellevue, and the Natchez Trace Bridge. So it's basically the areas that were under the tornado warning. It is now a severe thunderstorm warning that you have to worry about and look out for. And this is for potential 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as this line pushes to the northeast. So let's back up a little bit, and let's kind of show you where things are and where they're going. Storm is pushing off to the northeast, and let me get the graphic off of there so you can see better. So you can kind of see how the storms are progressing northeast. And so Riverwalk, Bells Bend, Bellevue, Pasco, you guys are going to have to deal with this heavy rainer here. Could have some gusty winds in it as it moves through. So tornado warning is gone. We don't have to worry about that for now unless something changes. Nashville will not be included in a tornado warning currently. If that changes, we'll let you know. But right now, Nashville does not have a tornado warning and is not planned to for now. Severe thunderstorm warning, though, is in effect for the western edge of Davidson County, includes Riverwalk, Bellevue, Pasco. They are issuing now a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be done in Murray County. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that right now. But that's going to be for these storms down here in Murray County. And could have just a tad, I'll tell you what, while I'm looking at it, could have just a tad of rotation there in western Murray County. If that tightens up, they may upgrade that. But for right now, they're going to do a severe thunderstorm warning there for Murray County. But they're keeping an eye on that, I can guarantee you. So severe thunderstorm warning there in the western sides of, western Murray County. Well, it goes all the way up into northern Murray County, too. So I'll tell you what they're watching. They're watching this right here. It's an area of sort of broad rotation. They're crossing Hampshire Pike, coming out of Columbia. And that's going to be moving northeast generally towards Spring Hill. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on that. For right now, it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Murray County until 1 o'clock. So let's not forget about that. Let's go back up here to Williamson County and up into Metro. So strong winds still possible here on this little line, this appendage here that kind of hangs out of Kingston Springs down into Williamson County, and then some heavy downpours there in Fairview. Could be some gusty winds with that. So that's where this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until, this is in effect until 1 p.m. All right, so about another 25 minutes on that one. All right. Let's go down here to Murray County. I don't want to let this go. I want to keep an eye on this. Let me zoom in on a different radar here. Let me go over to that radar out of Nolensville, show you this. So the Tbna is showing, again, this area, a little bit of area of rotation here. We're going to keep an eye on that. And the reason, I know this is in Murray County, but the reason I mention this is it's pushing northeast and could impact Spring Hill and the southern parts of Williamson County here in a little bit. So just keep an eye on it. Spring Hill, Thompson Station, south end of Franklin, Bethesda. You guys just kind of keep in the back of your mind that you could be dealing with an area of rotation and maybe a tornado warning eventually, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, keep it filed away for a little bit, and we're going to watch that. So just have an idea, excuse me, didn't mean to bump that, have an idea in your mind of where you would go if a tornado warning was issued, all right? So that would be an interior room, closet, bathroom, like we did up there in Davidson, or excuse me, in western Williamson County a little bit ago. Just kind of have that in the back of your mind if you live down in southern Williamson County. All right, we're not there yet. It's just kind of a broad area of rotation, but we're going to keep an eye on it. All right, back up around Metro, and let's see. Let me show you that on. I'll tell you what. We'll stay where we are. This is the radar out of Nashville, and seeing an area of bowing winds here coming into Riverwalk and kind of coming up I-40 toward Bellevue, kind of an area of bowing winds here. These could be pretty strong, okay? You can kind of see how it comes down, and then it kind of bows out right there. All right, that could be pretty gusty. And so keep an eye on that. Just kind of know that's coming into Bellevue here over the next couple of minutes. Yeah, you can kind of see how that's bulging out there. So let me mention this again. If you have any reports of damage, anything that you see that you think the Weather Service needs to know about, tweet us using hashtag TSpotter, and we will get that report over to the Weather Service. If you see any trees down, if you see any flooding, if you see anything like that, just let us know. Use hashtag TSpotter, and we will get that over to the Weather Service. Yeah, I see some pretty strong winds there. Seeing maybe 57 miles an hour there, right around South Harpeth Road, down Highway 100 there. So could be some pretty gusty winds. If you live near Riverwalk, you're probably about to get it pretty gusty there, and coming up I-40 toward like Oak Haven and Bellevue, areas like that. So that could be some pretty strong winds there. They're in the basement in Ashland City. Can they get out? Yeah. If they're in there for tornado purposes, they can come out of the basement. No, there are no tornado warnings in effect currently. Sorry, I'm glancing over here at comments every once in a while here, and I'll answer your questions as I can. All right, let's go back down over here to Tbna. I meant to show this earlier, and I don't think I did, but this is that area of very, very broad, very weak rotation there in western Murray County. But severe thunderstorm warning in effect there now. Not a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning. But they've added some text in that warning that indicates that a tornado could be possible and might need to be upgraded at some point. But we're not there yet. Alrighty. Going up to Metro here. Not seeing much of anything there. Let me go over here to the Weather Service radar. And let's sort of broaden out just a tad. Let's kind of get a big picture. All right. Line of storm stretching all the way from Kentucky and the Tennessee border all the way down to the state line with Alabama. And this line of storms is producing some rotation occasionally, and but some strong gusty winds are a pretty good bet up and down this line. So you see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect there. One of them affects us here in Davidson and Williamson counties, a somewhat small portion of each. And then a severe thunderstorm warning down to the south, right around Columbia, back to the west of Columbia. And that's sort of aimed at Spring Hill, Thompson Station. So that one doesn't affect Williamson County quite yet, but it might after a while. So we're going to be watching that. So those are the only two warnings in effect now. If you're not included in a warning yet, you may be later, all right? So don't disconnect and stay tuned here. Let me look at your comments. All right. Yep, no active tornado warnings right now. Okay. I'm going to check a couple of things over here with the Weather Service while you look at that radar image. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out for Davidson County and the Tbna map. I know it looks awfully messy here, but it shows the new polygon. So this is going to be for Davidson County, includes a good part of Davidson County, including downtown and off to the northwest. All right, so really everybody from downtown all the way up to the northwest, down I-40, up I-24, up I-65. So really pretty much everybody in Davidson County on the northwest half is included in that severe thunderstorm warning. So let's go back over to radar here, and let's read the text of that warning. Severe thunderstorm warning was located over Pegram, 10 miles south of Ashland City, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible with that storm. So it's basically an extension of this one that we had a little bit ago that just kind of clipped Davidson and Williamson counties. That's now in effect and includes a larger area of Davidson County. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for now, and they're canceling this other warning just to get it out of the way here, and the new box will cover the new warning. So let's take a look at the velocity data here. I'll tell you what you can look at. You see this area of green and how it kind of bows out right here? See how it kind of bows out? That's an indication of some pretty strong wind, all right? So that is a good indication that Riverwalk, Bellevue, up toward Bells Bend, pretty much anybody near I-40 on the west side, that is where the strongest winds are. And they could be pretty gusty. All right, so we're looking at traditional radar here. Let me kind of put this in a loop, and you can kind of see how they're moving. So individual cells are moving off to the northeast, but pretty much everybody's going to be affected by this line in some way. All right, so who's in and who's out of the warning? Williamson County, you are not currently in any warning. That may change, but right now you're not included in any warning. Bells Bend, Bellevue, Riverwalk, Beeman Park, Joelton, Fontanelle, downtown Nashville, Vanderbilt, Madison, the western sides of Goodlettsville, up toward Bakers, Joelton, Baxter Road, Marrowbone Lake, especially if you're in any areas outside. If you know somebody out at Marrowbone Lake fishing or something like that, or hiking out in Beeman Park, give them a call, let them know this is coming. They need to get out of the park there and get in their cars and not get in a shelter or get in a structure out there if they could. Just get in a sturdy building or something until this passes. All right, so you can kind of see how this is bowing out. So if you can just kind of envision winds coming in the backside of this storm, pushing the rain out, that's kind of what this is indicating. All right, so some strong winds possible there coming through Riverwalk and the northern sides of Bellevue, and that's indicated on the velocities as well. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes we see rotation happen right here on the northern side of sort of a bulge like that, okay? So sometimes we can get rotation that happens right here, kind of on the northern edge of where these bows happen. So we're going to be watching right here to see if there's any rotation that gets going, because that would affect parts of Davidson County if it does. All right, but for now, severe thunderstorm warning that pushes off to the northeast. All right, let's go back to traditional radar and seeing some pretty heavy downpours here crossing Old Pond Creek. And that's moving off to the northeast toward Bell's Bend. All right, let's go over to Tbna, take a look at that. It's seeing the bow here and the velocities. Let me put my cursor on there. You can kind of see the bow and the velocities. Starting to see a little bit of rotation here, okay? This is kind of one of those places that we can see rotation pop up on, as we were just talking about, kind of on the northern side of these bows. And that's one place that we can see rotation occur, and I'm seeing a little bit, all right, crossing Pond Creek Road up there as it comes into Davidson County. So that's one spot we're going to have to watch and see if that gets stronger or weaker. But there is some weak rotation there, right there where the top of that bow comes into the rest of the line. All right, and that's a classic place to find rotation in these kinds of storms. And we're going to have to keep an eye on that. All right, let's go down to the southwest. A few folks down there in Spring Hill and Thompson Station, we were looking earlier at some rotation. It's not really as strong anymore, but could be some gusty winds there, certainly in Columbia and up there in Murray County. So we'll keep an eye on that as it gets closer to Williamson County. But right now we're focused really on this area of gusty winds coming up I-40, really about to cross River Road Pike and or River Road there on the western side of Davidson County. And I'm kind of watching this area here. This is an area where we could see some things tighten up. So it's not real strong right now, but it wouldn't be out of the question to get some rotation, get a little bit stronger there, and that would affect Bell's Bend up toward Bordeaux, Scottsboro, kind of the western sides of Davidson County. So let's not forget about that. We're going to need to watch that for a minute. I'm going to go look at the Weather Service radar and see what it shows with it. Maybe some enhanced winds there. It's not showing quite as much of the weak rotation, but it's showing a little bit of a pickup in the winds there. But mostly in this whole bow, really from Bellevue up to Oak Haven. Yeah, now it's picking up on it. It's picking up on it now. So it could be a little bit of rotation trying to develop there just west of River Road. All right, so we're gonna have to watch that pretty close. It's starting to show up on the Weather Service radar now. So if that moves forward, you can kind of extrapolate out Bell's Bend, Urbandale Nations, Bordeaux, Scottsboro. You guys need to kind of keep an eye on this. So yeah, I would watch that for a potential spin up. And let's go look at it over on Tbna. And this is, you can kind of see here where that is. Okay, tornado warning now for Davidson County. So yeah, I was kind of worried they were going to do that. So tornado warning now for Davidson County. So that's going to be for this area of rotation that we were just talking about here on the western edge of Davidson County, right around Bell's Bend. Okay, let's go back to the Weather Service radar, and they gotta have quick fingers on these warnings because they come up pretty fast. So if you live in Fontenelle, or if you live around Fontenelle, Beeman Park, Bell's Bend, Joelton, Madison, you guys are now included in a tornado warning. That's for this area of rotation here that's about to cross River Road here in the next couple of minutes. And it is moving off to the northeast. All right, so Bell's Bend, you are in immediate danger of this all the way up to Scottsboro. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. What you need to do, you need to be on the lowest level of your home or business. You need to be put as many interior rooms, or I keep saying that, as many interior or as many walls between you and the outside as possible, be in an interior room, closet, or bathroom, and that's the best place to be. All right, so this is going to be really from Bell's Bend, Beeman Park, Fontenelle, Joelton, Madison, all the way up to Goodlettsville, Ivy Point, Greer Road, Skyline Village, Cedar Hill Park, Good Pasture Christian School, Haynes, Bordeaux, Metro Center, just kind of naming off some areas there. That's where this rotation is. All right, so it hasn't quite crossed River Road yet, but it's getting pretty close. And Goodlettsville, you are the western sides of Goodlettsville are in the box. So let's just call it a yes. All right, let's go look at, we're going to go look at Tbna here, and this is going to show that area of rotation there just west of Bells Bend near River Road. It's pushing off to the northeast, so it also sees this. We're going to stick to the Weather Service radar for now, and that's going to show this area of rotation. It's not quite as coupled together as it was just a little bit ago, but it's still a distinct area of possible spin-up rotation right on the south end of this rain that's crossing River Road right now. All right, John C. Toon Airport is in the path of this. Scottsboro, Bells Bend, all the way over toward Bordeaux. So if you live kind of on the western side of the Briley Parkway Loop, you guys need to be in your safe place. Does all of Davidson County need to take cover? No, not from this tornado warning. If you're inside the red box, you're under a tornado warning. If you are not inside the red box, you are not under a tornado warning. So if you live in Creve Hall or Antioch, you're not in a tornado warning. All right, only inside the red box. So here's your area of rotation here, crossing River Road now, really close to Bells Bend. There's Scottsboro right there. Excuse me. All the way up to Beeman Park, you're included in this. If you know anybody driving out there, Briley Parkway, all the way up to like Whites Creek Pike. If you know somebody going up I-24 or I-65 out of Nashville up to the north, they need to not be driving up there. You need to tell them get off, go in some sort of strong shelter or safe place, something like that. You need to have them just get off the road. So if you're in a mobile home up here in the northern half of Davidson County, you need to get out of it. If you got time, you need to go somewhere and you need to enact your plan that you should have in place if a tornado warning is issued and you're in a mobile home. You need to get to that safe place, that shelter or strong building that you would go to in a tornado warning if you are in a mobile home up in the northern half of Davidson County. All right, let's go over to Tbna. We're going to look at some of the velocities here. Looks like the tightest area of velocities of circulation is going to be right there coming into Scottsboro now, right there crossing Old Hickory Boulevard right around Scottsboro. So a lot of sod farms out there and that kind of thing. This is right along the river. I'll turn the radar off and you can kind of see where this is. So yeah, there's a big sod farm there. This is right along the river, that area of Old Hickory Boulevard that runs south of Scottsboro toward Bells Bend. That's exactly where this is, and the strongest circulation is going to be right in there crossing Old Hickory Boulevard around Scottsboro here in just a little bit. All right, going back to the Weather Service radar, and yeah, it's showing pretty much the same thing there. Let's back out and show you who's included in this. And so the tornado warning includes areas north of downtown Nashville over toward Madison, Fontenelle, Beeman Park, Joelton, and the western sides of Goodlettsville, and all the way up into the northern edge of Davidson County. Excuse me just a moment. All right, excuse me there. So you guys, if you're inside the red polygon, are the ones that need to take shelter. So follow the advice of that graphic there. Be on the lowest level of your home or business. Don't be in a car. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, some strong winds still coming up I-40 here toward Briley Parkway, all the way out toward Ashland City Highway. That's where the area of strongest winds are right now. So sideways rain in Charlotte Park. I don't doubt that. Thanks for the report for that. Spring Hill Storm. Glad you asked. Spring Hill Storm is not looking like rotation currently. So maybe just some gusty winds there. So severe thunderstorm warning still in effect down in Murray County. Y'all stay tuned still down in Thompson Station and south of Franklin. Keep an eye out down there, but for right now, it doesn't look like any rotation being indicated down there. So strongest area of rotation is going to be up here in Davidson County, and might even be a little bit further south now, right around John C. Toon Airport. Okay, that might be where the strongest area of rotation is, and not seeing seeing debris signatures there. But that could be where kind of another area of rotation starting to form. Right there around John C. Toon and kind of where like the TDOT buildings are. They're along Briley Parkway. And this is Briley Parkway here going north. And that's where it curves around and goes off to the east there. And this is Ashland City Highway. So right around the Ashland City Highway exit on I-40, another little area of rotation there. It was a little bit further north and looks like it's kind of shifted down to the south just a tad, or there could be two real small areas of rotation. So radar is indicating a little bit of both there, but that's it could be two areas of potential there for a real weak spin up there in Davidson County. A new warning coming out. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Davidson, Murray, and Williamson. So that's probably going to cover up and down the line is what they're doing here. That'll probably include all the way up and down the line here from Murray into Davidson to account for this stuff here in Williamson. That's probably what they're doing. We'll see here in just a second how that pops up. Let's stay with this tornado warning up here in Davidson County. And in fact, let's go over and look at Tbna again. It's the radar out of Nolensville shooting up to the northwest here. And seeing a couple of areas here of rotation, one right around Scottsboro and another one kind of right here in the exact same place we were talking about a second ago, just north of John C. Toon, approaching the Ashland City Highway exit. And there's a new scan right there. That's kind of what we're seeing. So there's your outbound winds going that way. There's a green pixel there. That's wind going this way. All right, so there's an area there that could be an area of rotation. The other one we were looking at earlier was kind of up here around Scottsboro. All right, so there could be two areas of circulation here. Regardless, if you're anywhere inside the polygon, you need to be in your safe place. Let me turn the radar off. You can kind of see the polygon easier. If you're north of downtown Nashville, out I-65 or I-24, if you are in Beeman Park, if you live around Fontenelle, out Whites Creek Pike, Clarksville Highway, Bells Bend, Madison, all the way up into the northern parts of Davidson County, Dry Creek, areas like that up toward Goodlettsville, you guys need to be in your safe place. On the lowest level of your home or business, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I'm going to turn the radar back on here. Let's watch these updates. So one little area rotation here, right at the Ashland City Highway exit. Another one right up here around Scottsboro. That was kind of the original area of rotation. This one kind of developed a little bit later. So there's kind of two little areas right there that we're watching. Let's go over to the Weather Service radar. Again, tornado warning in effect for Davidson County until 1:15. That's for another about 20 minutes or so. And that's for this storm that is coming out of Scottsboro and Bells Bend and is pushing off to the northeast. And strongest area of rotation being indicated on radar now, right there around that Ashland City Highway area. All right, Joelton, you are included in this tornado warning all the way down Clarksville Pike, Whites Creek Pike there, all the way into Briley Parkway, all the way in through Metro Center, Bordeaux, Haynes, Talbot's Corner, Chesapeake, Good Pasture Christian School, Cedar Park, Skyline Village, Dickerson Pike that runs out of Nashville up toward Goodlettsville, Dickerson Pike, Dickerson Road, Main Street in Goodlettsville. You guys are included in this as well as it moves off to the northeast. So here's the Weather Service velocities. Seeing a little bit of a weak area rotation there. Let me check Tbna again. Not just like an overly impressive, like a really impressive velocity signature. We had one earlier, but there still is one, and it's right here around Kings Lane. And in Enchanted Circle, West Hamilton Road, these areas out here around toward Briley Parkway, north of Bordeaux. There still is a signature there. It's not quite as impressive as it was earlier, but it's there. And that's kind of where the strongest area of rotation is currently. All right, tornado warning in effect until this is going to be until 1:15, so about another 15 minutes on this tornado warning. And this is for Davidson County. This is for Nashville. And Williamson County, you are not included in the tornado warning right now. This is you got a severe thunderstorm warning down there, and that down there includes all of Franklin, West Haven, Leapers Fork, over to Nolensville. That includes all of you folks down there, all the way to Thompson Station, Page High School, Williamson County Ag Center, all that. So there are little areas of wind that are enhanced here around Beechwood Plantation, Leapers Fork. Pretty compact little area of strong winds there around Boyd Mill Pike, up there near West Haven, about to cross 96. So some areas down there of some pretty enhanced winds. Not necessarily rotation right now, but it's we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But back up here in Davidson County, we got this tornado warning for central Davidson County that has just been redrawn just a little bit to show where the highest threat is. Those of you in Bells Bend, Scottsboro, all clear for you, all the way down to Bellevue, Riverwalk, Oak Haven. You guys are all in the clear. So the warning now is in effect for Bordeaux, Haines, Fontenelle, Skyline Village, Cedar Hill Park, Good Pasture Christian School. Metro Center is barely excluded from that, but basically everybody north of that. If you live along Dry Creek, Union Hill Road, if you live near the Union Hill School, up there on the hill off of Licton Pike, Ivy Point, Greer Road, you folks up there are included in this as well as the storm pushes off to the northeast. Let's see. Let's stay with the velocities here for a little bit. And this looks to be, if there's a circulation, it's going to be right in there somewhere. And radar's still indicating that that's where that would be. Crossing, that's going to be crossing Buena Vista Pike that comes out of Metro Center. And that is where, that's where the strongest area of rotation is right now. All right, storm is going to be crossing Buena Vista Pike here in just a second. Also 431, Highway 431 there. That's going to be the roads that goes off to the northeast and cross Briley Parkway there, and that's really where the strongest area of rotation is currently. Go over here and look at Tbna, kind of see how things are going here. Let's see. Some enhanced winds up there around Fontenelle. Could be in the 40, 50, 60 mile an hour range up there around Fontenelle. Going to be crossing I-40 here in just a minute. So here's your polygon. And if you're just coming in here, looking for information on this tornado warning, this is going to be a tornado warning for central Davidson County and off to the north. So northern and central Davidson County, really from the I-24, I-65 split as you come off of, or there on the interstate going north of Nashville, north of Trinity Lane. Really everybody north of Trinity Lane, up I-24 and up I-65. That's where the warning is going to be in effect for now. Here's the interstate split. Strongest area of rotation is over here near, this would be the Old Hickory Boulevard exit on I-24. That's kind of where it's headed. And that could be it right there. So right around Fontenelle is where the strongest winds, or maybe the rotation, if there's any rotation, that's kind of where it would be according to radar. All right, checking again with Tbna, and it agrees. So there's that area of enhanced wind. Not seeing a whole lot of inbound winds. So in other words, the rotation factor on Tbna is less than it was a little bit ago. But still some enhanced winds nonetheless, pushing off to the northeast, right around Davidson Academy, approaching Davidson Academy there on Old Hickory Boulevard and Skyline Village neighborhood there. So strongest winds look to be there. Tbna is not really showing as much of a rotation factor as it was a little bit ago, but the Weather Service radar is still picking up on the possibility of some rotation there right around Fontenelle. So that's what we're focused on here. That's what we're focused on, and we'll keep watching. So, but even it has come down. There's the latest scan. It's come down just a tad. All right, so that's where we're watching the closest right now. Is right in there. Yeah, David says over on Twitter, the circulation areas continue to weaken, which is an encouraging trend. Yes, it is. Warning remains active for now. Yes, so the tornado warning's still there, but the rotation appears to be less than what it was, at least according to radar. So that's a good sign. But David also points out that tornadoes don't always make themselves obvious on radar. So we're not seeing any indications of debris being lofted right now. We're not seeing that. That was very, very, very clear back in the March tornado. It was unmistakable that there was a tornado on the ground there. We're not seeing that right now in this area up here in the northern part of Davidson County. So again, tornadoes don't always make themselves obvious on radar, but the trend is encouraging as this moves across I-24 and up toward Goodlettsville. Let's go down here and talk about the southern areas. Some of you are asking about the southern areas, and we had a storm down here in Murray County we were watching earlier. Fortunately, that storm, the weak rotation that was associated with that, did not develop, and so severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Williamson County here for these storms as they push through. Thompson Station, really, really heavy rainstorm moving through there right now. But don't be fooled that there's not just a ton of lightning with this. They're still pretty strong. So this line is pushing off to the northeast and heading toward Nolensville. And they've just redrawn the box there, so it includes still pretty much everybody here in Williamson County that it did just a minute ago. Approaching 65 here in just a minute and pushing off to the north. All right. So our tornado warning, the storm that's associated with that, is pushing toward, generally toward Goodlettsville. Here's our camera looking west out of Goodlettsville. It's actually going to have a pretty good view of this storm as it comes in. So we're going to keep an eye on this for sure. So this is live video. This is live video from the First Baptist Church there in Goodlettsville there on Main Street. And this is looking back to the west. So if you were to go directly behind this camera, you would see Main Street, Dickerson Road. And we are looking back to the west here of town. So that's where we're looking here. So what you're seeing here is this right here. This is what's coming into Goodlettsville. It looks like they are expiring the tornado warning in Davidson County, so that's going to go away a little bit early and should disappear off the map here. So Davidson County now no longer under a tornado warning. So the tornado warning's expired and will disappear off the map here in just a second. That's a good sign. All right, so let's go over here and watch in Goodlettsville, because this storm is coming right up there in just a second. It is not tornado warned, however. The Weather Service has just done away with the tornado warning in Davidson County. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So all clear on in Davidson County right now for the tornado warning. That is going away. So all clear for that. However, still some pretty strong gusty winds associated with this as it comes through. So you need to be in a good building as this comes in. All right, you're looking here from Main Street in Goodlettsville off to the west. We're going to watch this thing come in. Particularly, we're watching for how strong the winds are as they come in. And if there are any areas of rotation, we probably will be able to see it here on the camera. And this is live video, so you can see it moving very slowly in, and that will get faster here in just a minute as it gets closer to the camera. But that storm, we have a perfect view of that storm as it's coming in to the Goodlettsville area here in just a second. Meanwhile, while you're watching that, I'm watching radar here just off screen here, and I'm going to be checking for any other areas that could have little brief spin-ups. And I'm going to be watching that pretty close here on the other screen. Maybe some strong winds coming into Spring Hill. I'll show you that real quick. Pretty strong area of wind there being indicated in the 50-mile-an-hour range coming into Spring Hill. Not sure if that's actually reaching the ground. Could be. But that could be coming into Thompson Station here in just a second. You see those blues. So that could get pretty windy. All right, back over to Goodlettsville. All right, so that's a live view there in Goodlettsville. Also watching, this is a Brentwood traffic camera. This is owned by the city of Brentwood. It's right there on I-65, and going to have a pretty good view of the storm that crosses I-65 here in just a second. And we'll be able to see if there's any real strong gusty winds with that as it comes in. But that should be over the camera here in just a minute. See the winds picking up there. Camera shaking a little bit. And again, this is a city of Brentwood camera there at Moores Lane and I-65. This is looking north. It says eastbound there, but this is looking north on I-65. You see the WSM tower there at Concord Road. So we're looking north there toward Brentwood. So back to the Goodlettsville camera now. And it is, storm's getting closer. And not particularly seeing any funnels, not seeing any kind of rotation, anything like that. So tornado warning expired up there, and looking now just to see if there's any strong damaging winds that come in here in the next little bit. You say sirens back on again. Tornado warning has expired. The warning is gone. So even though the sirens are going off, there is no tornado warning. That expired and it's gone. So you're all clear in Davidson County as far as the tornado warning goes. All right, you see the rain. The rain just arrived there in Goodlettsville, and it's also arriving here. This is a City of Brentwood camera over at Moores Lane. So it's arriving in both places simultaneously. And so now keep in mind now, if some of you are saying you didn't hear sirens, some of you did, keep in mind the new system may be in place in Metro where you only hear sirens if you were within the polygon, okay? So if you weren't in it, you may not have heard them. That may be in place now. So keep that in mind as well. It may not have been the whole county. So again, here you're looking at Goodlettsville and the rain coming in, the wind coming in, and not seeing, it looks like it's gusty. For sure, the trees aren't bending over, but there, looks a little gusty there. Same there at Moores Lane and at the City of Brentwood. Seeing trees moving around, but it doesn't look too crazy at the moment. And check a couple of others here. All right, here's the City of Brentwood camera there at Granny White Pike and Maryland Way. So, yeah, it looks like it's pretty gusty, but those right there are not severe winds necessarily in that particular spot. So that's a good thing. Doesn't mean that couldn't change here in just a minute. Just telling what we're seeing on the camera. So, but camera moving around pretty good there at Moores Lane, I-65. So some gusty winds. Pretty good bet. All right, I'm watching radar here on the other screen. All right, let's go back here to to radar. Could be some strong winds there in Brentwood, Forest Hills, Oak Hill, all the way up to Lakewood, but yeah, just looks a little bit gusty as it comes in. Let's go back over to the Brentwood camera just for a second. I'm going to be watching Goodlettsville over here too. This is city of Brentwood camera there on the interstate. All right, here's Goodlettsville. Looks like it's kind of winding down there in Goodlettsville. That didn't luckily the wind didn't appear too strong there, and that's good. Let's talk about warnings here for just a second. The only warning that's in effect now is down for the southern half of Davidson County, and includes down toward down I-65, includes Franklin, Nolensville, and Page High School, McKay's Mill, and those places. Ladd Park, yeah, you just mentioned there, strong winds and rain there in Ladd Park, so it includes folks down there as well. In fact, that's kind of the strongest part of it, is right there near Ladd Park. So strong winds, I'm pretty sure that's a good bet down there. So looking at a couple other cameras just sort of off screen here to see if there's anything that stands out. You're looking right now at a city of Brentwood camera. We're going to go back. Let's see. We're on that Moores Lane I-65 camera right now. We're going to stay there and just kind of see what we see there. That's a city of Brentwood camera. A good video image there, so we're going to stay with that and just kind of see what it does. Wind does look pretty gusty. I'm looking in that line of trees over there near the that's kind of over there near the Best Buy and those other stores there that back up to the interstate. Those trees are right behind those stores, and we're going to stick with that just for a second. I'm going to be watching radar over here to the left, checking to see if there's any signs of rotation or strong winds, anything like that, but it does look pretty gusty down there on the camera. So severe thunderstorm warning continues in effect for a little while. That includes Williamson County until 1:30, so about another 10 minutes on that warning. All right. Let's see here. Let's jump over to radar just a second. This is radar that shows where the warnings are. I'm going to turn the red box off. That's lightning. Let's not get confused kind of what's going on here. Let me make that disappear. So let me turn radar off, and you can see the only warning we have in effect is the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Davidson and Williamson counties, and that's going to be in effect until 1:30. So about another 10 minutes on that one, and that's for the potential of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as this line moves through. So Brentwood, Creve Hall, the Nashville Airport, Antioch, down through Cane Ridge, Nolensville, over there to Cool Springs. You're getting it right now as it crosses I-65. Page High School is about to get wet. Arrington, Burke Hollow, Clovercroft Road there, all you guys, and Wilson Pike all the way down to Arrington. Going to get this as well. So the possibility of 60-mile-an-hour winds with this as it comes through. Not really seeing any very distinct areas of rotation here. We'll go over and see what David is up to over on Twitter. And so let's see. He is saying, yeah, parking next to a large tree is not a good idea with these kinds of winds. And let's see here. He's talking about our weather balloon we launched earlier. That was pretty fun. All right, so area of strong winds. Let's look at radar here and kind of zoom down and see if we can find some particular areas of gusty winds. That's going to be 54 miles an hour up there, around 1,200 feet. That's right around Ravenwood High School, and that could be pretty gusty. Up and down the line, though, we're looking at maybe over near Lipscomb and Oak Hill. 50 mile an hour winds there, possible, being indicated on radar. That's an area, that's a neighborhood over there near Granny White Pike and over around Leland Lane. They seem to really have a problem with wind damage there from time to time. So looking over here, let's go back to the I-65 camera. It's pretty gusty there. They're getting a lot of rain. So it's coming down really hard, and camera was shaking quite a bit just a second ago. So it could be some really gusty winds. Traffic's moving a little slower than it was over there on I-65. This is at the Moores Lane exit, looking north toward Concord Road. It's a City of Brentwood camera there. All right, back over to radar in just a second. We'll switch back over here in just a minute. But checking off screen here on some places that could be getting some gusty winds. All right, so you're looking here at Moores Lane. This is a City of Brentwood camera. And you're looking there at I-65, and this line is pretty much crossed I-65 now, and heaviest rain now is going to be pushing over toward Page High School and over toward Nolensville in just a minute. So let's take a look at radar here. Strongest winds could be anywhere up and down this line inside the yellow box. So yellow box is a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warnings have all expired. They are all gone, and we've had a couple of them today. So those tornado warnings have gone away, and the severe thunderstorm warning is all that is left. Still could be serious business, though. 60 mile an hour winds could be possible with these storms as they come through. A lot of rain. It's going to rain really, really hard for a little while as the line comes through, and maybe a little bit of wind damage too. And these would be straight line winds. So that's going to be inside the yellow box here. Heaviest rain is going to be south of Brentwood over toward McKay's Mill, and that's going to come right down. That's going to come right down Clovercroft Road here in just a little bit, and also Burke Hollow Road that goes up through Burke Hollow, as they call it out there, and then into Nolensville. So the heavy rains will be in Nolensville here in just a little bit. And then before we know it, this thing will be east of us. So that will be great when it is outside of our area. But pretty heavy rain up there around I-65 and 440 there near downtown. Let's check and see what's going on the Midtown camera, if I can get it pulled up. I'm going to try to get it pulled up. We may have to go to the Oak Hill camera instead. Here's the Oak Hill camera. Oak Hill camera is getting a good wash. And this is right there on Franklin Road. You can kind of see the tree there in the bottom of the image. And looked like it froze up on us just there a little bit. So, but anyway, yeah, you see the tree there moving. That doesn't look like the winds there don't look too strong. A few raindrops in the way there, but that tree, we've seen it move like crazy when it gets blowing real hard. It's not moving too much right now, so that's a good sign. Back over to radar. It looks like we have yet another severe thunderstorm warning. So that's coming out for Davidson, Rutherford, Sumner, Williamson, and Wilson. So that's until 2 o'clock, and that should appear up here on the screen here in just a minute. We'll see where that is. That'll be Davidson, Rutherford, Sumner, Williamson, Wilson. So it's going to be out ahead of this current warning. Looking a little better there on I-65 around Moores Lane. That's a good thing. It looks like it's getting a little brighter there. The heaviest rain's starting to let up there. And looks like the wind as well. Still a little breezy, seeing the trees move down there, but not too bad. Let's go back over to radar, looking at that new warning that just came out. This is in effect until 2 o'clock. So about another 40 minutes, 35 minutes on this one. And hopefully this line will be out of here well before that. So we'll stay with it as long as it's in Davidson or Williamson counties. And so this includes everybody up from Madison all the way down I-65, includes Hermitage, includes Donaldson, includes Tbna, Percy Priest Lake, Antioch, Cane Ridge, all the way down to Laverne, Nolensville, Burke Hollow, Arrington, all the way kind of down there toward Triune at the old four-way stop, which is now a red light. They're growing up down there, so good place down there in Triune. So the warning stops right there at Triune. So looks like some pretty strong winds are even a little bit behind the rain. Was seeing a camera kind of here off screen. I was watching that City of Brentwood camera again. It's still moving around pretty good there around I-65. So some strong winds could hang around behind the line a little bit. So, new severe thunderstorm warning now that will cover the eastern part of Davidson and Williamson County. That'll be in effect until 2 o'clock. So we'll stay with it till then. Let me go over and look at Tbna. Tbna is going to have a really good read on this as it comes in. Yeah, let me switch over. There's something I want to show you. All right, here's Tbna. This is located in Nolensville. The line is just within a mile or two, or maybe even less than that, from Tbna. It's got a great read on it. So some strong winds there, 50-mile-an-hour winds possible around the Governor's Club. And I may even have a camera out there that we can access. And let's see what the winds are doing out there. Yeah, we may not. All right, may not. That's okay. Okay, so we're looking at Tbna here, and these bright greens are some gusty winds that could be moving into Nolensville, so that's not out of the question as this moves in. So heaviest winds look to be right around Concord Road and the Willamette subdivision. So right around, if you remember where that tornado damage was back in 2017, was it March 1st of 17? When the tornado kind of came through that morning, and it actually damaged some houses right here along Concord Road. That's kind of where, if you remember where that is, that's where the strongest winds are now. But that'll be up toward the Kroger and Publix area around Concord Road. That'll be over there here in just a minute. And in fact, it's there. There's the update. So these winds are moving pretty quick off to the northeast and could be pretty gusty. They'll be in the Pettis Road, Old Hickory Boulevard intersection area. There's a church right there on the corner. And then Cane Ridge, you get up to like the Hidden Creek subdivision and Sunset Park and some of those neighborhoods up there. So that's where those strong winds are heading. And some other strong winds down along Burke Hollow Road. Well, that's Clovercroft right there. You got Burke Hollow Road here that comes off of Clovercroft, goes down to Wilson Pike. Some pretty gusty winds there as well. So really all up and down the line, that's kind of what we can expect. Let me go back to the Weather Services radar here. All right, going down here, and let's go over to reflectivity, and let's just kind of look and see who, well, we are in reflectivity. Perfect. All right, let's see where this line is, where it's headed. Madison got the heaviest of the rain now. And yeah, and seeing some strong winds come through the Nolensville area as well. So seeing that happen. And then down further south, you kind of see here, this is Burke Hollow Road here. You see some very heavy reflectivity there. So very heavy rains there around Burke Hollow. So this right here is being indicated right at the top of the hill on Burke Hollow. And you kind of come down the hill and go up toward Clovercroft. Some very, very heavy rain being indicated there. And probably some strong winds there as well as that comes in. Let me go over to velocities on Tbna and see what it's reading. So yeah, still some pretty gusty winds there. All right, so back to reflectivity here. So there's Burke Hollow, here's Clovercroft up here, here's Nolensville, Bent Creek subdivision, Sunset Road, all getting some pretty strong winds as they cross Nolensville Road, and we'll head off toward the Cane Ridge area. Get a sip of water, I'll be right back. All right, back with you here, and you're looking at radar. Let's go up here and look. Line stretches all the way from really the Tennessee-Kentucky border all the way down to Alabama. So we're just getting a small portion of this, really the only portion of it that has a warning with it. And hopefully these will be out of Davidson and Williamson County pretty soon. But the heaviest rain right now and probably the strongest winds are right here around Gallatin Road and Inglewood. And then also down here in Antioch, right around Franklin Limestone Road. And then also down here in Nolensville, we got some purple showing up there, right at the top of the hill there on Burke Hollow. So you kind of come from Wilson Pike, go up a big hill, and then kind of go down the other side there, and that's where the heaviest rains are right there. And that's moving into Nolensville, be coming over the high school here in just a minute. And actually there it is, going over the high school now. And on up into the Stonebrook subdivision there in Nolensville and pushing off to the east. Velocities here, not too impressive as far as rotation goes. I mean, could be just a smidge right there around Sanford Road. Just a smidge of rotation, but nothing too worrisome right now. And maybe some gusty winds up here around Colonial Village, actually going out to Lebanon Road there out of Donaldson toward Hermitage. So looks like right there around Stones River Road, what's that there, Hickory Hill Lane, going off toward Hermitage, some pretty gusty winds. Could be 55, 60 miles an hour there, indicated on radar going out Lebanon Road toward Hermitage. So that could be pretty strong. So that's, but you're under severe thunderstorm warning. You need to be in a structure, and just don't need to be outside in this. Weather Service is saying they're seeing some velocities up to 55 with the line in eastern Davidson. The winds could knock down a few trees and power lines up to 60 now in the Donaldson area. That's what we were just looking at. That's pushing off to the northeast. So those gusty winds could cause a problem with some trees. That might be easily knocked over. Give me just a second. I'm going to read another note from the Weather Service about a little bit later in the day. Be right back. All right, some of you were asking about storms a little bit later. We're just going to have to see how that pans out. Models indicate there could be another round of storms. We're just going to see how that pans out here, depending on how much storm food is left over. David had a good tweet on that here a few minutes ago. So we'll just have to see if that pans out or not. Heaviest rain leaving Nolensville now, about to cross Percy Priest Lake. Coming into Hermitage now as well, so there'll be some pretty strong winds, especially there in Hermitage, indicating winds up around 55 miles an hour. Coming right into Hermitage, crossing Hickory Hill Lane, that subdivision there, right in Hermitage. So could be pretty strong there just for a little bit. It won't last too long, but could be strong there in Hermitage just for a little while. All right, back to our regular reflectivity, and looking back to the west, we do see some more storms starting to develop there around Savannah, back there around Tennessee River in Decatur County, down into Corinth, Mississippi, and we'll just have to see how those evolve. They've been going for a little while, but starting to develop, so we'll see if they make it here a little bit later. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here until 2 p.m., so about another 30 minutes. Hopefully these storms will be out of here before 2 o'clock, but that warning is still with us until 2 p.m. So storm's now about to cross Old Hickory Boulevard that comes off of I-40 there through Hermitage and goes up into Lakewood. So storm's about to get there, and it's going to rain really, really hard for just a little bit. And there it goes, crossing Old Hickory Boulevard now. Hang on, looking at a couple of other notes here. Alrighty. I think I'm seeing some of y'all say that some sirens are still going off. There is not a tornado warning in effect, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but just want to let you know that there's not a tornado warning in effect. That expired quite a while ago, actually, and so that's gone. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for eastern Williamson County and eastern Davidson County. So tornado warning is not in effect. These are for straight line winds, and so just want to clear that up a little bit. That it's a severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning expired there a while back. So strongest winds now probably coming into Hermitage, and that's where the brightest velocities are right now, around Peeler Park, crossing Old Hickory Boulevard and Hermitage, and heading right for the Weather Service office there where the radar is located. They're right off Old Hickory Lake. So that's where that's going now. And let me go over here and look and see if there are any reports that have come in of damage. Looks like we had some down in Hickman County, maybe a tree problem down there. Not seeing too much in the way of trees down or anything like that in either of our counties. That's good. If you do have any reports, send that to us on using hashtag TSpotter and over on Twitter, and we'll get that over to the Weather Service, any reports that you have come in. All right, back here on radar, still looking at Lakewood and Hermitage and Percy Priest Lake on down through Nolensville is where the strongest rains are, mostly on the east side of Nolensville. Right as you go into Rutherford County there along Rock Springs Road, that goes over into Rutherford County towards Smyrna, and that's where the heaviest rains are now and strongest winds as well. So it's good that this is moving out. Williamson County is, we still got a little bit down here on the south side. But that is not included in the severe thunderstorm warning. So most of our focus now is going to be up here in Davidson County for the strong winds, and seeing some, but radar is really not indicating much in the way of severe winds, but definitely winds up in the 50-mile-an-hour range. That's for sure. They're right around Chute Lane and Saundersville Road. Really, everybody right there along Lebanon Road, Andrew Jackson Parkway, and off to the northeast there. That's where the strongest winds are right now, according to radar. Checking a couple of things over here on the off screen here, looking to see what other developments we might have, but not seeing much in the way of developments other than this warning that we're just kind of letting ride till about 2 o'clock. Let me go ahead. David sent out a tweet on this just a second ago, and let me clear this up again. For those of you that are saying the sirens are still going off, no idea why that's happening. They need to be shut off. There is not a tornado warning in effect, and in fact, the severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County just got canceled. It's still in effect for Davidson, but the tornado warning expired long ago. That thing's long gone. So if you're hearing sirens, I don't know what to tell you other than the warning is no longer in effect and hasn't been for quite some time. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning currently. It's basically the eastern sliver of Davidson County, and that's going to be from Hermitage over well into Wilson County and down to Laverne. Williamson County is now excluded. There are no warnings for Williamson County, so that's good news. That's changed. They've been dropped from the warning. So the eastern sliver of Davidson County now included in the latest of the updated severe thunderstorm warning. And the sound you hear is my dog under my desk, so sorry about the clicking around there. But this storm will be out of here very soon, and the strongest winds now right around Percy Priest Lake, and then up toward Green Hill over there in Wilson County, moving out of Lakewood. It's crossed Old Hickory Boulevard and moving off to the east. So really everybody west of Hermitage, so Donaldson back to the west, you guys are in good shape for now. So we'll have to watch and see if we get another round of weather, but it looks like we're going to be in good shape for a little bit. So a lot of rain there in Hermitage and Lakewood now, off and down Lebanon Road as it goes into Wilson County. Some strong winds as well, being indicated on the Weather Service's radar at about 35-40 miles an hour there. Could be a little stronger than that, but that's the indication currently, down toward Percy Priest Lake and down toward Hobson Pike, where the bridge goes over Percy Priest Lake there. Some strong winds there also. But for the most part, this thing is moving out, and that's great. That is great. We're ready to be done with this line. Back to the west, could be some more storms developing. Could be some more storms developing there, radar is indicating. So we'll see if they hold together as they come off to the northeast. So velocities appear to be coming down in the severe thunderstorm warning through Davidson County, but pockets of 50-mile-an-hour wind are still showing up. They plan to keep the warning going through the top of the hour, so they may trim Davidson County out of it here in a few minutes after it passes out of Davidson County, but they're going to keep the overall warning going through the top of the hour. So still hearing sirens. Guys, I'm just seeing this come in. I do not understand that, but okay. So this line is going to be out of here very soon, and let's check velocities here real quick. Yeah, Weather Service is noting they've come down some, and they have. So this is going to be moving off into Wilson County here shortly. Tell you what we're going to do. We are going to jump off of here, and we are going to start turning our focus back to the west. And we're going to start looking to see if the storms back here have any potential to develop into something more than what they are right now. And so we're going to be watching that. We'll be coordinating with the Weather Service, getting their thoughts on it. And we may even we might even launch another one of our balloons here after a while and kind of see what the atmosphere is doing. So we'll see about that here in a little bit. But for right now, some heavy rain around Page High School down toward Eagleville. That's non-severe. And then the strong, the heavy rain there around Percy Priest Lake moving east, and Hermitage moving east. That's going to be out of here in the next couple of minutes. All right, so in the next 5 minutes or so, that should be over the county line and not a worry for us anymore. And the velocities do appear to have come down. So the warning may still be in effect for another 15-20 minutes, but it looks like the velocities are coming down. So that's what we're looking at now. All right, follow us over on Twitter. We'll be at Nash Severe WX giving updates until there are any additional warnings. And other than that, we'll jump back over here if there are any warnings issued here on YouTube Live. And other than that, we'll stay over on Twitter. If you have any reports, send those to us on Twitter at Nash Severe WX, and we will send those reports over to the Weather Service. All right, you guys have a great afternoon, and we'll talk later.